I don't know if we're doing a what's everybody drinking, but I do have something I want to share.
You should. I'm not drinking anything.
Oh, I am. I was like, shit, we're doing a quick podcast. I'm drinking. No, I got a new beer from Zero Gravity, who do the Green State Lager.
Oh, yeah.
But it's called Juicy IPA. I bought an IPA.
Oh,
wow.
I hate IPA, but then every once in a while, Dustin's like, I hate IPA, but then he drinks an IPA. So I was like, maybe I should try this one because it sounded really good. And it has ducks on it. I bought it because it had ducks on it.
It's a nice can.
It is. It says Duck Duck Juice. This juicy IPA has hoppy flavor, bursts of red berry, tropical mango, and a touch of lemon lime zest.
And
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, with a beautifully balanced bitterness, it drinks as smooth as a duck on water. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it definitely is, a little hoppy, which is like not my, but it doesn't taste. It's not as bad as I was expecting. It's Dustin frozen.
No, he's watching football.
Oh,
I'm not. Yes,
Wow.
I was.
Well, you were, but now it's halftime, so you're okay.
So Dustin specifically requested this and then forgot.
yeah. Because he had pub trivia, which he did not have.
Yeah.
Correct.
And now he's sitting in the dark, so we can't see him and watching football.
Correct. That's right. So we're all in agreement. But we're just going to do like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's quick.
Doesn't matter. I have ducks on my beer. I don't care.
That's right. Skip ducks. I'm just drinking water that was sitting next here from earlier today.
Do you think it was yours, or could it have been
No,
someone
no.
else's?
I'm the only person that sits here.
Okay.
Here, so it was definitely mine. All right, Dan. Roll it.
I didn't print out an intro, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Welcome to a special episode of Podjiba, the Podjiba Television Podcast. Our second one this week, which is rare for us, but Dustin had a special plan that he forgot about. I'm Podjiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, our Podjiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Hello.
Hello. Producer Seth is here, although I don't know if he's going to talk.
We'll see.
We'll see. And the forgetful party person himself, Dustin Rolls.
Hello. That's all I got today.
All right. This week's, I did that from memory, you guys.
That was great.
241 episodes. I finally remember the intro. This is a short mini episode. We're not recording for the next couple weeks because of the holidays, but we wanted to talk a little bit about the Survivor finale, which aired Wednesday night. You will probably hear this on Friday or later because that's when it'll be out. But anyway, Survivor 47, the second part of the two-part finale, and we weren't sure if it was going to be tragic and that Rachel would fall short, or if it was going to be a coronation. Turned out to be the latter. So not necessarily
Dan
the
was
most
correct.
exciting episode, but it was. I mean, I was satisfied because by this point, she really seemed like she had the best game.
Yeah.
Were you at any point after she won immunity concerned that she would not win?
Not really, only because at Final Tribal, the arguing was pretty much focused on her and Sam. Like they kind of cut Sue's responses out for the most part because everyone knew she was going to take third. And I mean, even though Sam made some good arguments and like made some decent points as to like why his game was tougher, I think it felt very edited. Like it felt very like they're trying to make this combative. They're trying to make this feel like it's close. So I think rather than feeling like it was close, I felt them trying to make it feel close.
Yeah.
Yes. Particularly in that part where they have like all of the jury members separately talking about who they think should win. And there was like three people were like Sue and three were like...
Yeah.
But it was clear that they all gave three reasons why each of them could win.
Right.
Yeah, it was a weirdly combative tribal. I mean, there was also, I feel like there was at one point even Teeny from the jury was jumping in to correct something that Sam said. like, I think Sam did a really good job with his arguments, but it was very kind of, you know, he was painting with a very broad brush that then you had Rachel and Sue and at times Teeny jumping in to correct, which I thought was kind of fascinating. Which was, you know, not bad. It was like, he's at tribal. He's going to give it everything he's got, even if that's sort of fudging the logic to suit his, you know, ends. But his
entire argument seemed to be, I deserve to win because you all tried to vote me out many times.
And that was it.
And therefore, I must be the biggest threat and not like the most annoying person or
right. And it's not like nobody tried to vote Rachel out. It's just that she had immunity very many times.
He wasn't arguing that he was the biggest threat because they were trying to vote him out. What he was arguing, and I thought it was a somewhat effective argument, is he survived. Right, like that's Outlast is a part of it, and people kept trying to get him out, and they never got him out.
Right.
I thought he made. I wouldn't have voted for him, but I thought he made a fairly compelling argument and case for himself.
Yeah,
as best he could.
As best he could, yes. Like, given the game he played and the situation being up against Rachel, he made the best argument he possibly could have in that situation.
Yeah, I agree.
But wait, I will say, like, your question was, after Rachel won immunity, were you at all worried that she wasn't going to win? And I will say, like, once she won immunity, I was like, ugh, you know, I'm going to watch the rest of this, but like, there's no suspense anymore. It's a done deal. And then once they got to fire, it was suspenseful. I can't help it. It wasn't really about, I mean, I guess, so it was Teeny versus Sam. Rachel coached Teeny and nobody helped Sam. And it turned to what you find out. And again, it's like, because nobody trusts Sam, you can't really believe what he's saying. So you weren't really sure if it was true or not. But Sam's like, I've never made fire before, which means that he did not practice making fire before he went to the island. And he apparently did not lift a finger around camp in the almost a month. Like, just an absolute trash person. And so he, like, white dudes into fire making and just is going to wing it.
God.
And he did it. And this was after Teeny did this whole speech about, like, which again was like more of her Teeny, like, I'm going to say a bunch of stuff that like really is nobody's business, but I'm going to like word vomit all of my feelings onto television. And so she explains that her one-sided rivalry with Sam is just because she's jealous of him because he probably was asked by teachers to move desks when he was a kid. And like, that's what she always wanted.
Because he's like the handsome straight white guy.
Yes. And so it's like, she just wants to knock him down a peg, which fair. I would like to knock him down several pegs, especially after finding out that he never bothered to learn how to make fire before ending up in the fire making challenge. That was so stupid. And then, she builds this beautiful fire and then the wind blows, like literal act of God blows her flame away from the rope long enough for him to, like, honestly fail upwards into the wind. Like he sits there for what felt like a very long time, not making a fire. Her fire is huge, but like is blowing all around. And then he like, suddenly it catches. He literally takes handfuls of kindling, throws it on top, and his fire just shoots up and burns the thing.
Yeah. I mean, he basically, one thing that was impressive, I mean, obviously he got very lucky there, which is funny that, I mean, not that Rachel needed to make that argument, but like if he kept talking about luck, she should have been like, you want to talk about luck? What happened yesterday? But to his credit, the moment he had his opportunity, he did dump everything onto that fire. Without if it didn't work, he's out of material and he's done. So
no, but so that was so once he won that,
cheapen his victory.
I'm not cheapening. I'm saying that he threw he knew he had like one shot.
That's a good note, Dan. I hadn't thought about that. Tori, on your point of like there was no doubt, and you wanted to stop watching after Rachel won immunity. Somebody on this podcast is the father of two petulant twins who did in fact storm out of the room and stop watching once Rachel won immunity.
Really?
They literally just walked away and said, "We're done. We already know she's going to win. We don't need to watch anymore."
And they were right.
They were right.
They were right.
But their mother is the person who bet on Rachel winning in the beginning, so they knew that they weren't going to get to pick dinner, so they were not happy.
Oh,
so
they
Fuck
okay.
This. I'm
That's
out.
why they were mad.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, as the person who had picked Sue and made it all the way to the final 3, only to not win, I feel their pain. And poor Sue, who didn't get a single vote.
I loved her argument was, hi, I'm 59 and I'm a grandma.
Yeah.
Vote for me.
I do wonder, like, because you're right, it was all in the editing, so I'm sure, like, they just were like, we're not going to bother showing many of her answers, but it really felt like nobody was asking her anything.
Yeah. Well, there was the one question that Genevieve, I think, was it Genevieve? Genevieve
no, it was Sierra, I think.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sierra
and then Gabe,
posted a question, and then Gabe was like, you should also answer that.
About Sue? Yeah.
The one thing that was I was curious about how everybody feels is, so the final immunity challenge ended up being pretty close, at least between Sam and Rachel. Yeah. But it was kind of like a classic Final Four thing where it's like multi-part, mostly physical, ends on a puzzle. Right. Versus like, and I'm just curious like what you guys thought of it, because I really, as much as, again, I'm happy that Rachel won, and that's kind of a standard last four kind of challenge. I really kind of liked last year's, where that was the one, if you remember, it was they had to run the ball up the track. It comes like bouncing down like a pinball machine, and then they have to build a puzzle while that's coming down. Right. And I just like the idea that one was like a little bit less physical, a little bit more strategy and like risk taking.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just since that was so different, it was I was a little surprised to see that they just went right back to kind of a classic version of a Final Four challenge.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly interesting challenge.
Yeah.
I was like, the puzzle hangs upside down.
And that bat puzzle they've done a bunch of times.
Really?
They've done versions of it a bunch of times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean the other puzzle was, the other challenge was a lot cooler because it wasn't just physical, but it required a lot of attention, which if you're very hungry at that late stage can be challenging on its own. But I didn't think much of it because I was like, physical with a puzzle, Rachel's got this. Like, go for it. I did think it was funny Sam was in the lead for so long and then just like ate it with he ate it with the knocking the gate down. Then he did very quickly catch up because of the puzzle.
Oh yeah, the jumble, the word jumble.
The word jumble. And then and it was pretty close when it got to the puzzle, except that everyone turned around and started. I mean, it was just funny seeing them. I forgot the dynamic when you get to the Final Four where there's like, no, all bets are off. Everyone's copying off of each other. And like, that was kind of fun.
That's another place where she could have called him out on his luck bullshit of like,
yeah,
it wasn't luck. If you weren't so stupid, you would have beat me at the puzzle and gotten the immunity.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that like, I am curious how much of her responses were also edited because it feels like he had a real one track and she was just swatting him down left and right. And I don't know how like aggressively all of it was, but I think she countered him pretty effectively.
She didn't mention her shot in the dark strategy, which may have been edited out, but that was like the coolest move.
That was the coolest.
That was strategic
that was a fun move.
Yeah. And honestly, like Sam, I think like, people voted for me because I was a threat. Like, I mean, his whole argument has always been a little weird. I think like he partnered with Genevieve so that they could be mutual shields, which I think is a good strategy. But it was, you want to talk about luck. It's like Genevieve ended up literally being the bigger threat. Like you got to a point where it could have been you or Genevieve and everyone went for Genevieve.
Except for Teeny somehow.
Teeny, honestly, this was the one vote of the season Teeny was on the right side of. Like I was shocked. I genuinely expected to see her vote for Sam.
Right. Well, no, I was not surprised it was 8-1. I was surprised that the one wasn't Andy, just because he's the contrarian. I just thought he'd vote.
Oh,
for Andy
I was pretty certain that Andy would vote for Rachel.
Yeah, I absolutely thought Andy would vote for Rachel.
Yeah, because of the way that they took him out.
Yeah,
right.
Specifically,
he is a fan of the game, and I think he really respected that. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised that Sierra voted for Rachel. I forgot that they were so close in the beginning. I thought she was going to vote for Sam. I was very much surprised that the one vote Sam did get was Kyle, for reasons that don't make any sense. He was like, I really respect him. Why? So I don't know. Maybe he was bitter that Rachel got him out because Rachel was beat him in the immunity, got the immunity
right
the week that that then made him vulnerable. So he went home. I don't know.
I think when somebody said that Rachel was better at challenges than Kyle, he took that personally and voted for Sam out of spite.
Because Sam wasn't that good at challenges.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't.
I have no idea why Kyle voted for Sam.
I think Kyle hates women.
Kyle's not as bright as we want him to be.
No. But it was sad that it wasn't unanimous, that there was the one vote and it was not anyone we could have really seen coming.
No.
Because I was really wondering who Caroline was going to vote for. Would she stick? Would she be loyal to Sue or?
Yeah. Although apparently
I think,
in the exit interview that they all do with Dalton Ross, for Rachel, she said that the thing that didn't make the edit of the season that she missed the most was that I guess she and Caroline did become close post merge.
Oh.
So she was like, that was a big part of, she felt like that was a big part of their story, but didn't really make the edit. But so
that's
I guess even though I think she was still she and Sue were still number one.
Right.
Rachel was probably a close second.
But it's also interesting how Rachel or Sue, when she talks about it, kind of always talks about Gabe as being her number one.
Right.
Which I'm like, I wonder how Caroline feels about that.
Well, Gabe went out a while before that.
Yeah. So
there was one other thing I wanted to mention is that, so there was I think I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but a few weeks ago several weeks ago now, after Rome went out, he had been doing interviews, and this got onto the Survivor subreddit and stuff like that, where he did some interview for some random show. It wasn't a big show, but they asked him what he thought of all the remaining players, and he started going in order describing them, and it sounded and people were freaking out because it started to sound like he was announcing elimination order. And so, because I think the first two were correct, and then the third one was wrong, something like that. But now that we've reached the end, it turns out the order was entirely right except for that one mistake. So I think it's possible that he was trying to do it and he just screwed it up. That he was actually trying to spoil this because he said Rachel last, and his order went Rachel and then Sam and then Sue, if you go backwards.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He's a dick.
But also amazing if he did it intentionally and still was incompetent.
Yeah.
Or
he missed one just to be it wasn't on purpose.
Oh no. Yeah.
He is not smart enough to play that version of chess, Dan.
No.
He was playing stupid checkers, like Tori says.
But Jeff loves him, so he might still be back. Who knows?
Oh my god.
That does feel like a pretty big faux pas, though, if it gets back to them.
Yeah.
There are much better people that can come back for the 50th. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What did you guys watch the reunion part of the episode or the trailer for next season?
The trailer didn't really show anything.
Yeah.
No, it never does.
Same as it always, yeah.
But there wasn't even a surprise oh, look, someone we know, John Lovett.
Yeah.
But
I didn't stay for any of it.
It was also really short. This year's reunion was only 2 segments, so it was only about 20 minutes.
The trailer did set up the player that we're all gonna fucking hate, which was the guy that was basically kissing his biceps.
Oh yeah, bicep chocolate milk guy.
Oh no.
I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy.
Everyone
loved Jonathan for half a season.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, but also that was because Jonathan was the only one who could complete those challenges. One last question before we go. So everyone, it seems like we were all generally enjoyed the. I mean, I know at this point we all wanted Rachel to win. So
yeah.
My last question: are you going to get the Exploding Kitten / Survivor Jeff Probst Survivor card game that comes out next month?
What?
Or maybe the better question is, how many copies are you going to get?
Oh my God, they're doing.
I already know
Kittens.
multiple people I'm buying them for. I told Dustin that I was bummed that it wasn't coming out in time for while I'm up here.
What?
They're doing some kind of. Jeff apparently helped design this Exploding Kittens, and they're the ones publishing it. I think it's up to 6 players. I don't know how it approximates Survivor. I'm sure it's mostly just the backstabbing, but anyway.
Oh my God,
$20.
I gotta find it.
$20 at Target.
Oh my God,
and other fine retailers.
I'm so excited. And then I hope they adapt it for the next season of Exploding Kittens, which I don't know has actually been picked up, but like, who cares?
Oh, the show.
Yeah. The Netflix
Story
cartoon.
Loves.
Yeah. I watched it. I've watched worse. It was cute. It was fine.
It's no chicken nugget.
No, nothing is. But it was animated.
All right. Any last words before we sign off for 2024?
I got nothing.
I'm so relieved Andy didn't win.
Yes.
There was definitely a period in the middle of the season where I was like, he's not going to win, right? Like, is this really happening? Is he really?
He ended up getting like the main character who doesn't win story.
Yeah.
Like the what's her name? I'm forgetting from a couple seasons ago.
Oh, Mama J?
No,
Emily?
Emily, yeah.
Oh, Emily. Yeah.
There's 4 of us, so vote if Genevieve had made it to the finals against Rachel. Who would you have voted for?
Rachel.
Oh, really? I think I might have voted for Genevieve.
Well, wait, who's the third person? I mean, it doesn't matter, but who is the third person? Sam?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. I still think Rachel had the most impressive game, at least from what we were shown.
Agree.
Yeah.
I think I would have voted for Genevieve over any of the other in the final 5 other than Rachel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Like, it would have made for a much more interesting finale to have the two of them. But yeah, I mean, if Rachel went home and Genevieve made it to the end, like, I would have picked her over anyone else. Rachel still over her.
I think if Genevieve had made it, it's not 8-1. I think she wins, 5-4, 6-3, Rachel, but makes it more. It would have been a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man. And I'm really glad that Teenie did not make it to the final 3, just because I think that if she ended up in Sue's spot and nobody got no votes, she would have gone into an absolute tailspin. So I'm kind of glad that she never needed to learn that no one would have voted for her.
Well, she did say that she got losing at Fire meant that she got to say, I would have won.
Right.
If I had made Fire.
She's fine with the, yeah. So
anyway, all right, we'll end it there. That's it for this special podcast. That's also it for 2024 for us. So we'll see you in 2025. Probably right around when the Trader starts. So
also around when the Abbott Elementary It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover starts. So
there's gonna be some stuff to talk about. But until then, I hope everyone has a good holiday. See you next year.
Good
Happy
night,
holidays. Yay.
Bye.
Oh, that was the softest bye.
I know.